Okay. As I said, this is a pretty quick, easy unit. As of Friday this week, we're done with this unit already, and next week next Tuesday we'll take our test. Yep. So, quick, easy one, and jumping into Unit 4 then. I can evaluate functions by substituting. So that's what we're looking at today. For some reason, you guys are not very good at this when it comes to ISASP. They're very easy questions that are missed because you freak out. And you look at it and you go, I don't know what to do. It's really not bad. Okay, so let's look at our vocabulary for today. Independent and dependent variables. The independent variable, the variable representing the input values. Input are which one, the X or the Y? X. Okay. Dependent variable. The variable in the relationship that depends on the value of the independent variable. This is represented by the output values, also known as the y-axis. So like a dependent variable would be running a race, or running for 10 seconds. How far I go depends on how much time I was given. If I'm given 5 seconds, I'm going to run a lot less than I would if I was given 20 seconds, correct? If I'm given 5 minutes versus 10 minutes, I could make it farther in the 10 minutes, right? So the distance I can go depends on the time I was given. Does that make sense? Okay. So, independent variable is your X, dependent variable is your Y. All right. So we're first going to talk about independent and dependent variables. That's where we start. Identify the independent and dependent variables in each situation. The weight of a kitten and the kitten's age in months. Which one depends on the other? The weight what? So the one that depends on something is the dependent. So we're going to say the weight is the dependent, and the independent variable. And I always like to think of the independent variable as something that's going to happen no matter what. Is that age going to keep going up in months no matter what you do? Yeah. It doesn't depend on anything, does it? No. The number of ice cream cones a company sells and their total profit. Which one depends on one? What do you think?
The total profits depend on the number.
Very good. So total profits depends on how many ice cream cones they sell. Okay, I'm not going to help you with the bottom ones. You guys write down what you think. A person's age and the number of gray hairs on their head. The total value of a savings account and the number of years the account's been open. All right. What do we think? A person's age and the number of gray hairs. Yes, Braden, what do you think?
The independent is person's age, and the dependent is the gray hairs.
Very good. What about B, the total value of a savings account and the number of years the account's been open? Yes, Kate?
The independent is years open and the dependent is the savings.
Now that one I could argue. People could have been saving money at home and then gone in and opened a savings account. So that one I could argue. Does independent and dependent variable make sense? Okay. We're going to keep going because I lose cross country, quite a few of you actually out of this class. Okay. Function notation. Where we're going with this is function notation. Function notation is a special way to write some equations by naming the input value in parentheses. The independent variable is x, and the dependent variable is y, or f of x. So it's saying y is the dependent of x. That's what this is. Does that make sense? It's the function of x, what's happening because of x. Just like we were doing with independent and dependent. This is happening because this is happening. The older I get, the more gray hairs I got. So this is happening because this was happening. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is read as f of x is equal to 5x. Okay, f of x is just another way to write y, meaning the dependent variable. Okay. And just like with any variable, does it always have to be the same letter? So if you see something like g of x, it's the same thing. H of x, it's the same thing. Sometimes they'll switch the letters because maybe it starts with the hair. So it'd be h of x because it's saying, oh, the hair depends on. So they're labeling it that way. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay, I should get a quarter every time I ask. Does that make sense? I do that a lot in the day. Find the value of a function, f of x equals 2x minus 3. So all we're doing is substitute 4 in for the x in the function. Okay. So we're saying the reason we're putting the 4 here is we're saying the function of 4, because that's specifically the one I'm looking at, the function of 4 is what? Okay, so I'm just going to solve it. It's just like a check, guys. That's all it is. So what's the function of 4 equal? 5. So what this is saying is on the coordinate, it would be x. That's all it is. You're literally just solving it. The only thing new here is now they're saying it's a function. Remember how we learned if it was a function or not a function? Okay. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Friday I heard went great, right?
How do you get 5?
8 minus 3. Okay. So now we're just naming it a function. All of these are functions. All right. Now we're going to substitute negative 7 in. 2 times negative 7 is, take away 3 more. I'm not even looking for this. You don't have to write it as a coordinate. I'm seeing that I can give you a part of the function that would be on a graph, and you could tell me what the y value of the function would be. So I'm giving you the x values of the function. You're telling me what the y values are, which is f of x. Questions so far on this part? Okay, I want you guys to try these. Now, does it change anything that it's g of x? No. Doesn't change a thing. Am I okay to do this?
Yeah.
Okay. So, 4 squared is plus 1. So g of 4 would give me 17. So my coordinate would be 17, 4. You will see stuff like this on ISASP. But of course people get confused because they go, oh gosh, there's a g and an x, and what do I do? And then they start balancing it. It's not what they're looking for. All right. Negative 7 squared. 49 plus 1 gives me 50. Okay, so what we're working up to is we are now going to go into story problems. Okay. At Sunset Junior High, a math teacher discovered that students percent correct on a math test, P of A. So, see how they're switching it now? Why do they switch it to P of A? Why would those two letters make sense? Percent and assessment. Is one the independent and one the dependent? Which one's the dependent? Does your percent depend on your...
Yeah.
Okay, so say it that way. Like, say it in your head. Does was dependent on the number of assignments? So do the assignments depend on the percent, or do the percents depend on the assignments? So, exactly. So that's why it's in the Y position. The P depends on the A. So that's why they put it this way. That's why you'll see different letters. Does that make sense? Yes, hopefully. Okay, so what is dependent on the number of assignments, A, the student completed. He developed the function P of A, so the percent depend on the assignments, equals 5A plus 40. Okay, so they're saying if you did 7 assignments, what would my percent be? So we're going to figure that out. Okay, so this is going to give me 35, right?
Yeah.
So if I did 7 assignments, what would my percent be? 75%. What does the 7 represent in this situation? So what's a 7 mean? 7 assignments. What does the value represent? My answer represent?
Percentage.
Yep. On the math test. You'd get a 75% on the math test. Questions on this one at all? Okay, let's go on to the next page. We're still talking about the same problem we were just talking about. Good. Okay. Still at Sunset Junior High. We're still talking about that. How many assignments would a student need to complete to get 100%? Okay, so let's just talk about this first. Where would we want to put the 100%? Okay, so we're replacing this part, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I want 100%. How many assignments would I have to do is what we're trying to figure out. How do you want me to solve this? Minus 40. See where we balanced equations first? Whatever I do to one side, do to the other. Opposites cancel out. So I've got 60 equals 5A. That's 5 times A, so I'm going to go ahead and whatever I do to one side. So how many assignments do I need to do? 12 assignments. If I had to guess, that's probably the maximum number of assignments they had anyway. Is there a correlation between assignments and tests? At least in my class?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do I take all your questions off your assignments on your test? Yeah. So if you've already done the homework, do you have a better shot at doing better on the test? Okay. I think this is the one. Yes. Okay. I'm going to let you guys try this one, but we're going to read it out loud together. Carlita's ice cream shop can calculate their daily profits. P of X, based on the number of ice cream cones X they sell each day. They develop the function P of X equals negative 15 plus 0.5X to show the relationship. So you're going to find when X is 60 first, and then she wants to make $200 that day. Am I okay to go over this, or do we still need a little time? Okay, yes? Yep. You guys don't need to finish watching the video. Yep. We're gonna have those starting tomorrow. Yep. Yeah, you guys just had tag today, so I didn't pull it today. Yep. Tomorrow. Yep. Yep. Yes, I will. I was gonna do it at the end of class, but yeah. Okay, so we got our P of 60 equals negative 15 plus 0.5 times 60. What's 0.5 times 60? 30 plus a negative 15.
15.
Okay, what does the 60 represent in this situation? It would represent the profit of, or the 60's ice cream cones. You're right. 60's ice cream cones. And what does the P of 60 mean? The profit would be what? If you sold 60 ice cream cones, what would your profit be? $15. It's a lot of ice cream cones to only make $15. Why do you suppose there's a negative in this problem?
How much it costs to buy the cones?
Yep, the cost into it to begin with, right? So they're only really making 50 cents per ice cream cone. All right, so they want a profit of $200. They want a profit of $200. So I'm going to say, okay, I want $200. How many ice cream cones would I need to sell in order to make $200? So first thing I'm going to do is add my 15, right? And finally, what would I do now? Divide by 0.5. So how many ice cream cones would I have to sell in order to... No?
430.
430 ice cream cones. I would have to sell 430 ice cream cones in order to make a profit of $200. Now,
60 ice cream cones.
that's a lot, right? Isn't that crazy? Okay. You will see this quite a bit on ISAS too. They're going to give you 2. Okay? They're wanting to know if f of x is 20. Okay, this is a little different. Do you notice where the 20 is? Okay. Now over here, how was it written? Sorry, over. Being alive, Miss Steven. It's way back here. See how it was written here? Now look how it's written here. Is it different? Yeah. This one that we were previously doing, see how it's on the inside of the parentheses? Is this one? No. So what do you think is different about this? You already know the dependent.
If you have not done so already, please release the cross-country team. Thank you.
You have to now find the independent variable. You're given the dependent. They're saying f of x equals 20. So, since it's f of x, I'm using this one. Do you see that? I'm not using this one because why? That's g of x. So, I'm now saying that I know f of x. We're not putting 20 in for x. We're saying f of x is replaced with 20. It equals 20. So now I need to balance it. Okay. Is this making a little bit of sense, or am I going too fast?
This is like Unit 1.
It's very similar to Unit 1, yes. Okay, so we're going to add our 4. What would you like me to do next?
Divide by 3.
X equals 8. So this one's just and people are going to confuse this, and you're going to put it in for the parentheses. Don't do that. All right, let's take a look at this one. Now, which one am I using? G of x, okay. Guys, let's focus. What do you want me to do first?
Minus 1.
So I get negative 3 over here. Now what?
Divide by 1 over 2.
Divide by 1/2. So divide by 1/2. We actually never divide fractions though.
We turn them into a decimal.
Convert it to decimal.
Well, you can, but what I was saying, you never divide by a fraction. You flip it and multiply by the reciprocal.
So maybe negative
X would equal negative.
6.
Very good. If it's a fraction that you cannot turn into a decimal, you flip it and multiply by the reciprocal. Reciprocal means that you're just flipping the numerator and denominator. All right, I'm going to let you guys do this last one before we move on to that Explore I gave you. Okay, where am I putting this 57?
On the outside of
So, starting it, right?
inside x plus 2
What would you like me to do first?
minus 2. And there goes what W.
And now what?
Divide by
Divide by
5.
5. It was 11.
See why we started with Unit 1? With balancing equations? You're going to balance equations in almost everything we do. All right, let's switch gears over to that Explore. Okay, Ezra's business and marketing class is doing a project. Each student needs to create a product to sell and use a function to determine their potential profits. Ezra decided he was going to make wood block paintings. He came up with the function P of X. What would the P stand for? Profit is negative 45. So why would it be negative 45? The cost of the materials and everything. Plus 5.5. So what's the 5.5 representing? Per one he sells. He's saying he's going to make $5.50 per one he sells. Okay? That's what he's charging. Where P of X represents total profits and X is the number of paintings sold. Okay? So we just kind of went through this. Write down in your words, what does the negative 45 in the function represent and why is it negative? Write that down. What do you think? Why is it the 45 negative and what's it represent? All right, somebody in their own words, tell me. What do we got? What does the negative 45 say it, Mason?
How much materials cost?
And why is it negative?
Because you lose money.
You're losing money on it. So before he even sells one, he's in the hole, right? Yes, which is any company, right? All right. How much was Ezra selling each painting for? How much is he selling each painting for? $5.50. And where did I get that? So we're multiplying it by X. And X represents the number he sells. So that would make sense that $5.50 is how much he's charging. Use a function to answer the following questions. Would Ezra make any money if he sold 8 paintings? Okay, so we're going to say P of 8 equals negative 45 minus $5.50 times 8. Would he make any money? What's 5.5 times 8? 44. Negative 45. Oh, that should be plus, sorry. Is he going to make any money?
No.
He's actually still in the hole. How much?
$1.
He's still in the hole $1. How much money would Ezra make by selling 15 paintings now? So now we have P of 15. So what's 550 times 15?
82.5.
And then if I add a negative 45 to that, I would make
$27.5.
27? Shouldn't it be 37? Right? 27?
37.
37. I thought you said 27, didn't you?
No, I just did my math.
Okay. 37.5. He'd make $37.50. But any student who makes $100 or more gets a bonus prize. So you tell me, how many would Ezra have to sell in order to get the bonus prize? Figure it out right now. How much would he have to sell in order to get the bonus prize? Angel, can you put your notebook down and work, please? Thank you. This was actually part of a marketing class in college that you had to do. There were certain products, and you had to pick which one you thought was going to be the best entrepreneurship, basically. All right, who can walk me through where I should start?
Plus 45.
Plus 45. Plus 45. So I have $145 equals 5.5x. What would you like me to do now?
I'd like you to divide by 5.5.
Okay. So how many does he have to sell in order to make a $100 profit?
26. 26.36.
Yep, so that is.
27.
He can't sell 0.36, so he'd have to sell 27. He'd have to. Because if he sells 26, is he going to make it? No. He's got to sell 27.
Just short of it.
All right. This is the last thing we're going to do, and then we're done. Step 4. Ezra's other classmates used the following functions for their class project. So we've got Selena, Michael, Fatima, and Sebastian. I want to know, who spent the most money to start the project? Who spent the most? Why do you say Michael?
Because spent 125.
Exactly. Michael spent the most. He spent $125 to get started. He's down $125 right off the bat. Which student, you're going to have to type this into your calculator, which student will make the most profit by selling 10 items? Which student will make the most profit after selling 10 items?
We have to set it up like every hour.
Put it in the calculator. Try it. Just type it in. So I can sit here and type in negative 75 plus 2.5 times 10. Well, this one's down 50 yet.
Negative 50.
He sells each of them for 15.
Yeah, but look at how you rate. I told you.
It's Michael.
By how much?
5.5.
By 5 cents. Sebastian takes it.
Sebastian takes it by 5 cents.
Who is selling their item for the least amount of money?
I'm pretty sure that's
Yep. Because how much is hers? 75 cents. Who has to sell the most items to start making a profit?
Me, Michael. Actually, me.
No.
Selena. Because, why is that? Why does Selena have to sell the most?
Because she sold it for the least and also her cost.
Her cost is super high, and is she selling them for a lot? No.
No, she isn't.
Does this make sense as far as functions?
Yes.
Gentlemen back there, you've been goofing off more than we've been paying attention. Okay. All right. That is functions. That is CO2.